be filming a Q&A video in the comfort of my bed, so it's more personal, you know. First of all, I wanted to thank you so much for 10k, 20k, and 30k subscribers. I did not know that I would reach these milestones so quickly. A couple weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram story and I asked my followers to just ask me some questions. I got a lot more questions than I expected, so I will be answering those questions to the best of my abilities with full transparency, but also to the level of comfort. So I make vlogs about my life and school, but I never really got to formally introduce myself. So that is what I will be attempting to do in this video. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Julie Cho, or my Korean name is Cho Yoon-seo, and I'm studying at Korea University, majoring in political science and international relations. Alright, so let's do the basics first. This was the most asked question, which is regarding my age. I am 20 years old. My international age is 20, so I was born in 2001. My Korean age, I think I'm 22. And I feel like so many people are so shocked when they hear my age. Like, I don't know what they were expecting. Maybe they expect me to be a lot older than what I actually am. But yeah, I'm 20. What is your height? I am 166 centimeters or 5'5.5". Are you full Korean? What is your nationality? I'm fully Korean if I don't look like that already. I also got like, are you mixed? But I just feel like I don't see it. I think I look fully Korean. Like, I look so Asian. Next was, what is your MBTI? So I am an ENFP. I'm the campaigner. I'm the green one. Related question is, what is your Enneagram? Like, I don't know how to pronounce this, but there's 9 types of personalities. I am type 8, the challenger. And this is apparently the rarest personality type. And then, what is your background? I think this was also one of the most common questions that I got. I am Korean. My nationality is Korean and I have a Korean citizenship. So I was born in Korea, Seoul, and I stayed in Korea up until kindergarten or 유치원. And then when I was 8 years old, I moved to New York City, lived there for 10 years from 1st grade to 10th grade. So that kind of also explains my lingual abilities. Some people are like, oh, how do you speak English so fluently when you live in Korea? Well, it's because I spent half of my life in New York. So after 10th grade, my family, we all moved back to Korea, and I was the only one who went to Bangkok. I went to an international school in Bangkok, Thailand for 2 years. My family wanted me to finish my primary education in an American education system. And while I was there, my family was still in Korea and I was living at a dorm with my roommate slash best friend. And after I graduated high school, I moved back to Korea. In sum, I was born and raised here in Korea, and then I moved to New York City, lived there for 10 years, and then moved to Bangkok, lived there for 2 years, and now I'm back in Korea. I think this is my 3rd year living in Korea. This is also a related question, like, how did you transition? I think a lot of third culture kids or kids who have moved around growing up can also relate to this, but solidifying and figuring out my identity throughout the years, I think, has been one of the biggest internal struggles that I've experienced growing up. But I'm so grateful to have had those kind of experiences. Like, it made me who I am today. So I owe a lot of my ease in transition to my extroversion, open-mindedness, being flexible, making friends, and being inquisitive. Not even extroversion, actually. I think just being outgoing and friendly and social, those are just universal qualities that translate no matter where you go. I feel like those characteristics really helped me be more exposed to different types of people and expanded my types of interactions with other people, and also for the language too. The more you practice the language, the more you speak to other people, hear the language, the more you're able to grasp the language. And then related, I think it's the friends, the genuine connections and relationships that you build. I think wherever you go, when you truly find your people and build those genuine, authentic relationships, any place in the world can feel like home. People are so important in my life. I've learned so much from other people. I've been so inspired. I just think that meeting new people is an opportunity for you to see the world in a different perspective. The next thing is being open-minded and flexible. Being open-minded to new opportunities, new experiences, new people, like just staying humble and trying to absorb as much information and knowledge and stimulus from the world. I think that really helps you grow. And my experience of having moved around, it was such a huge opportunity for me to develop my self-identity, personalities, values, and also helped me discover different sides of myself, because I think everyone has multitudes to their personality, to the self, like code switching between cultures and different situations. I think new experiences and being out of your comfort zone are literally the catalyst for self-growth. You mentioned 3 cities in your bio. Which one feels most like home? All of them, to be honest. This is gonna sound so corny, but they all have a very special place in my heart, and they have all shaped me and affected me in such different ways. I wouldn't be able to choose like which one's your favorite. And I also think that with enough open-mindedness, really any place in the world can feel like home. And the next question is regarding my career. So what is your dream job? Plans after graduation? What do you hope to achieve in the next 5 years? I honestly have no idea. I mean, not no idea, like I have a general sense of what I would like to do, but I feel like I'm so indecisive in this particular aspect of my life. So I have mentioned law school after graduation. That is my current plan, but I know that they could so easily change. I think my general approach to this is build yourself, like work on yourself, and then also staying flexible to any opportunities that might come to you in the future, because you have no idea how the world will change in the next 5 years, 10 years, even 2 years from now. There might be different kind of opportunities, different jobs created, different demands, and I feel like our definition of job is expanding, especially after COVID and technological advancement. I can't really predict the future, but obviously I have my own ambitions and like a general sense of what I would like to do. A related question, would you consider doing YouTube full time? I honestly don't know. Like, I think when I first started, I never even expected that I would be able to make money off of this, which is crazy. I would like to focus more on building a career outside of YouTube, just because of my personal goals and how I personally feel fulfillment, and also because I'm still very much interested in other fields, different careers and lifestyles. Obviously nothing ever is definitive. I definitely try to stay flexible with everything in life, which includes YouTube, and you can't plan everything out, right? One of the biggest benefits of being a full-time YouTuber would be that I wouldn't be bound by any single location, which is related to like what I want to do in the future. Like, I just want to be traveling and seeing as much of the world as possible, but also like many other jobs have that characteristic, so we'll see. How many languages do you speak? I speak Korean and English very fluently. I can speak a bit of Spanish, like un poquito, porque estudié español por 6 años. I can also do a bit of Thai. English and Korean are my best, and then Spanish, and then Thai. Where and when and why are you going for the exchange program? I'm going to London for my exchange program in January 2022. So I'm going to London in 53 days. When you're in college, like, that is the optimal time for traveling. Traveling within Europe is so easy, so that's kind of also why I wanted to go, for traveling and also for education. My school right now, there's no law program for undergraduates, but at the school that I'm going to, they do have law related courses. If I ever do go into law school, you know, I want to try it out before I commit myself to it. What is your life motto? How do you stay motivated? Like, what are you passionate about? What inspires you to keep going? This is very, very vague, but I think the ultimate goal in my life is to help others in whatever way that I can. And I think a very important stepping stone in achieving that goal is to become the best possible version of yourself. Because if I'm not qualified enough, like who am I to help other people? Some of the qualities that I think are really important are compassion, open-mindedness, and intelligence, especially regarding emotional intelligence. I try to relate my short-term goals and my long-term goals to this ultimate vision that I have for my life and try to give meaning to these activities. So it would be like, I want to help others. How can I help others? I have to work on myself first. How can I work on myself right now as a student? Academics, interpersonal relationships, kindness. So it all begins from this vision, and then comes down to asking questions about what can I do in the long term and what can I do in the short term to reach that goal, because it's a huge goal. I think it's important to make that goal really concrete and specific, and that's where the short-term goals come in. And also because I can draw these clear connections between the vision, long-term goals, and short-term goals, I know where I'm headed towards, and I can stay so motivated because I know why I'm doing all of this right now in my present life. I've noticed that you read. Can you give some book recommendations, favorite books? To be honest with you, I haven't been reading very much recently, although I started a new book by Oprah Winfrey. Alright, so my top 3 would be 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. I think that was such an interesting book about the future of our society. I think it's already a very famous book, but I really recommend it. It's such a good book. It talks about everything from technology and personal values, artificial intelligence. There's so much content in that book. And then second one would be Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now by Maya Angelou. I think I read this book like 10 times. It's such a comforting, empowering book. Whenever I struggle or have any doubts about my life, I like to go to that book. Easily my favorite book. And the third one would be a good old Catcher in the Rye. I first read this in 9th grade. It was really meaningful. It just helped me reflect about my own personality, like my perspective of the world. What is your favorite Netflix show? Hands down, Money Heist. La Casa de Papel. It is such high quality. The music, the acting, the editing, the story, It's so good. 하루 중에 제일 좋아하는 시간. 저는 무조건 아침이요. 또 오늘은 뭐 하지? 오늘은 뭐 먹지? 이런 생각을 하면서 되게 설레어하는 스타일이에요. If iced Americano never existed, what would you drink? Why is this even a question? I'd rather die. What is your sign? I'm a Libra. How are you so confident? How to be confident like you? I think that I am a pretty confident individual, but this did not happen overnight. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. I really think that confidence really comes from struggling, like going through hardships and obstacles in life, and overcoming them makes you confident. From my very, very personal observation, the really confident and self-assured people that I know in my life have gone through some sort of shit in their life. They have really struggled and they have learned to pick themselves back up. And then the ones who are less confident have been more sheltered, haven't really experienced like significant hardships in their life. Obviously everyone experiences hardships, but I think like the degree of it, obviously it's very subjective, but for the most part I think the more that you have struggled, the more failures that you've experienced, the stronger and more confident you become. To become more confident, you just have to take more risks, get out of your comfort zone, willingly put yourself out there, and just do more things. If you just keep doing the same things, that gives you a sense of comfort and security, but I don't think that's necessarily going to give you more confidence. That is just my personal take on it. And then, how similar or different do you think you are on social media compared to in real life? I'm very much myself, and I think I try to be very honest, obviously with boundaries. And I think being honest has nothing to do with oversharing or violating the personal boundaries that you have set for yourself. For the most part, I know what I want to share with certain people, but I think it's also good to just embrace the fact that sometimes you're going to be overly vulnerable with some people, but being emotionally vulnerable is also one way of taking a risk. And I think that everyone in this world does something called code switching. I act differently when I interact with my Korean friends versus my New York friends, or when I'm interacting with my students, my teachers, parents. You know, it's all different. We all have multitudes of the self. So it's not like I'm different on social media versus in real life. It's just different sides of myself. So here's an analogy. When you go to a job interview or meetings, you're gonna put on a suit and tie and you're gonna present yourself in a more formal way. But when you go clubbing with your friends, like, you're gonna put on a bodycon dress because that's what you think is appropriate for each of those situations. Are you necessarily becoming a different person when you go to these interviews or go clubbing? No, like, they're just different sides of you. That's exactly how it is for code switching. It's like, it's different sides of me. It's not like a different person. I still have a very strong core. It's just, are you flexible? Like, are you able to adapt to different types of situations, you know? What is your ideal type? I would probably say mature, compassionate, kind, basically like emotionally intelligent. Do you have any siblings? No, I'm an only child. Where did you learn how to edit? Do you edit yourself? I was self-taught. I looked up on YouTube, like YouTube tutorials for editing on Final Cut Pro. Mostly it was just learn as I go kind of process. And then, like, how do you edit? I think I get really inspired by music and like the current vibe that I'm feeling in the moment. And then, why did you start YouTube? So this was back in my first year of college, and we were all coming back from dance practice because I was on a dance team, and one of my friends, they were like, you would make a good YouTuber. I was like really doubtful. I was like, no. Fast forward a year, COVID happened and Korea was in lockdown. This is kind of when everyone was picking up on a new hobby. They're like, oh my god, we're gonna become like home workout gurus. Everyone was super motivated to work on self-improvement, and my passion project of choice was YouTube because I just had that thought in the back of my head, that thing that my friend said. I just went for it. For the most part, when I want to do something, I kind of just go for it because what's the worst case scenario? There's probably more to lose from not trying than actually giving it a try. And I was also promoting my channel on Instagram since day one when I had like 0 subscribers, which was kind of embarrassing because it's all of like my acquaintances and like friends, and you're like suddenly, oh, like I started a YouTube channel, whatever. I just embraced it. I genuinely, truly love making these videos. It's a passion project of mine. Like, I love this. Do you have plans to permanently live in a different country other than Korea? Yes, I want to move around as much as I can, see as much as possible. There's so much that the world has to offer, and I never want to make a single city, a single country, my entire world. And also because I'm fully aware of what moving around, living in different places has done for me, like how it has significantly shaped me. I just want to continue doing that and continue to grow and learn, just get out of my comfort zone. I don't think it has to do much with not liking Korea. I genuinely love living here. I just want to have as many different experiences as possible. Okay, I think this concludes this Q&A. I hope this answered a lot of the questions that you had about me. I hope you got to know me a bit better. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Also, thank you to those of you who have Thank you to those of you who have asked me questions on Instagram. And last but not least, thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers. I cannot believe this. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in my next video.